today with Cooking with the Dean. I'm Marijo O'Grady, and I'm the Dean for Students. And I've got some honored guests here with me. We have Chef John Olson, who is our Chartwell's executive chef here. And we have our provost, Dr. Uday Sakatmi, who's going to be my sous chef with me. So tell me, Chef, where'd you go to culinary school?
I went to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York.
How fabulous.
And I had a restaurant in South Carolina for almost 10 years. And I moved back to New York City, about 8 years ago? And I've been at Pace for 2.5.
And he was instrumental during Hurricane Sandy, keeping us fed while his own home was underwater without electricity. Wow. He was amazing. And Provost Sakatmi, where did you grow up? Where did you go to school?
Well, I went to school at MIT. I'm a professor of physics. So cooking is a hobby for me.
Great.
And I didn't go to culinary school. I learned it from my mother and later practicing with my wife.
And his wife is an amazing cook, and she's here in the audience as well. Mrs. Sakatmi. So today, Chef's going to start us off so that we get going. And we're going to do a toasted breadcrumb sauce. It's a no-cook sauce. And there's many of them. Go for it, John. There's many of them that don't require any cooking. It's basically you boil your pasta and you just throw something onto it. And so today John is going to work with us to do a toasted breadcrumb sauce. You can even add scallops to toasted breadcrumbs and toss with your pasta, or any other kind of shrimp that's also very good.
What I'm going to do is, we're going to chop a clove of garlic real quick. Okay? Easiest way, just give it a little tap. And then 1, 2, 3.
And this
All right, so a little fresh parsley.
It's very easy. He's got some parsley, he's got some garlic.
Right. Olive oil, salt, pepper, cheese at the end. What you want to do is you want to get the pan warm, but not super hot. Okay? And the best way to do that is you can see the oil, when it starts to move, it moves fast. You look at it, it starts to really slide around in the pan. When it's cold, it just kind of sloshes, okay? And once you see where it's all moving in one thing, that's really hot enough for bread.
Or my home economics mother used to say, sprinkle a little piece of water in it, and it goes,
oh yes.
And then you can tell it's ready. And what John's done is actually toss up some breadcrumbs, really just taking stale bread, including the crust, in a food processor, or if you want the cheaters way, just buy panko, which is Japanese breadcrumbs.
It works good.
Easy, very easy.
You can tear this by hand, you know. I mean, you really can. It's not, I don't think there's any such thing as the wrong way. And then basically what you do is move your breadcrumbs over a little bit, okay? And then take a little more oil, just a little bit, and then add your garlic, okay? And then from there, just a little bit of salt and pepper right over the bread. So basically if you were closer, you could smell it. The bread should just get nice and toasty. You really don't want to let it get brown right away. And the reason for that is you still got a long way to cook. You want to cook the garlic through.
So you don't want to burn it up too fast.
Right. So add your parsley, okay? And basically let the parsley cook in the oil for a second. You really want to smell it. That's really the key. And then from there, turn your fire off. Okay, because basically you're ready to go. And then what you want to do is add your spaghetti to the water. Okay. All right, and just warm it up. And if you weren't making something like this, you don't even need to have the side of water. You can use your microwave even. You can just basically take a little bit of water, a bowl, 30 seconds in the microwave, just to loosen the pasta so it warms up, and then add it to your dish. Okay? All right, so olive oil and butter, just a tiny bit, okay? And then we're going to finish it with cheese. When we add the cheese, we're going to turn the fire off. And the reason for that is when you take cheese and you have it on the fire, it's going to melt and get very, very stringy and tough, okay? So basically, just barely warm, and you fold it in one time and you're done.
Yes, yes. So that is really, really easy. Provost Sakatmi, would you like to have a taste?
Of course.
Of course. Of course. He sees the taste. It looks delicious. And he's a vegetarian, so I know he'll like that. So they're really, really quite easy dishes. And then the second one we're going to try is going to be a curried tomato sauce. Very much very similar. What do you think, Uday?
Wonderful.
Good?
Very simple.
It's
Very
so
easy.
simple. It's
tasty.
very good.
All our students can make it.
Oh yeah. I ate too much at brunch, but it's delicious. So the next we're going to make is going to be a tomato curry sauce.
What you're gonna do is just
And quite honestly, while he's instructing my provost, my boss, you could substitute the curry for ginger, and that makes a really nice sauce with tomato and ginger. And essentially, Uday's putting in some extra virgin olive oil into the pan, and then he's going to get a little blob of butter. If we were making and feeding a family, we'd use a lot more quantity of the onions and peppers and garlic and other kinds of things. But what now he's doing now is he's going to get that stirring, that curry and that EEVO to just kind of get the flavors melding. And then he's going to be adding some onion and some garlic to give it some more under flavor. So when you layer the flavors on, you really find that depth when you go to eat your dish. It's really very good.
It's very, yes.
This is good.
So
is very
this
good.
sauce is really done at this point.
Yes.
So basically, all you're doing is toasting the curry powder, letting the flavors come out in the oil and the butter, and then add your onions, and then just cook the onions so they become a little bit fragrant.
Did you cook the tomatoes at all?
Yeah, you want to cook the tomatoes, I would say another 30 seconds, and we'll close off the fire and turn it off.
And it
we
will
can let
continue
sit.
to cook in the top pan
Exactly.
because it is a metal pan and it's sitting on a hot vehicle.
Perfect. So basically, it's off now.
Delicious.
So what I find, even when I cook at the house, I come to this point with almost everything I do. I get my sauces ready, I put them on the side. This way I can relax. I cook the pasta the right way. Instead of, the oh my God, I got the pasta on, is it ready, is it not? You know it's going to taste good, you know exactly what you're making. And anything that you make, you take right to that level. When it sits, it's only going to develop flavor.
So what if a student wants to make more of this and use it for a few days in a row?
Oh, that's exactly it. Perfect. Take this, and you could have this batch. You could even mix it with the pasta, and then it's a perfect casserole with any kind of cheese. You have leftover chicken, things like that. You can take, like for instance, you can take some of the grilled chicken from the salad bar. You can take a little feta cheese, something like that. And then all you have to do is put it in a bowl and toast it up. And it's a perfect leftover.
And chef,
Really
couldn't I
is.
actually put it in my little Tupperware, keep it in the fridge when I want to pull it out and something else later? Easy.
More.
Easy, easy.
Easy, easy, easy.
And even if you didn't want to go the curry route, some flavors folks don't like the ginger or the curry seems to be
Right.
too strong. Try crushed tomatoes with a little brie and some basil. And that's a great sauce that just throws right in there. There's so many ways that this can be applied. How about black olives, green olives with tomatoes? So easy. You could even make a no-cook sauce by just chopping up black olives, have them on the side, with some crushed tomatoes if you like, and then just toss that in your pasta, and it's almost a no-cook sauce.
I noticed you put some olive oil at the end.
I did.
What is that for?
It helps coat and glaze the noodles, and it tastes fantastic.
And chef, do you think there are some pastas that marry well over others with certain dishes?
It really depends on how heavy your sauce is. It really does. If you are eating something that is a little more meaty or has a lot of vegetable to it, the penne, rigatoni, the small shells, little bow ties, things like that really lend themselves well. And the reason for that is you can get a lot of everything in one bite. Something like the spaghettis or linguinis really work better if you're talking about a finer cut garnish, something like, let's say, linguine,
Bolognese would probably be better with-
exactly. You have that.
And the other
That's
thing
all.
about this is I tend to, when I'm going to do something different with this or use it again, I use penny so I can bake it. So if I use a meat sauce, I'm going to bake it, throw cheese on top, and reinvent the leftover for my hungry family. Want to taste? So we're going to be doing today a tomato and gorgonzola. A lot of folks will just do Parmesan within, but I wanted to show what this is like. It's very different and it's also very, very easy.
This one, what we did was we cooked butter and olive oil with garlic. Now, a smart trick for garlic, if you want to brown garlic and you want to cook garlic, always try to start with a cold pan, as cold as possible. The reason for that is the garlic, if it browns immediately, inside is still raw. So once you continue to cook it in the sauce, you get that gasoline, really burning garlic. You know when somebody cooks the tomato sauce and you get that,
Acidic almost.
right? You know, like that burping garlic. Oh, I can really taste the garlic. You know, that classic thing. You can avoid that very easily by taking cold oil and gently toasting the garlic. What it does is it cooks the garlic, then browns the garlic.
Yeah.
So it becomes sweet and tender. This one here, what we did is we toasted the garlic golden brown and we add a little basil first. Now, I know people say add it at the end, and that's true, but you do want to get some of that flavor in the oil, into the tomatoes as well. And then we took whole tomato and just kind of smashed them together with some of the juice, and we're draining the pasta completely because we don't need the pasta water right now. We have enough water from the tomatoes. Okay? So then we add our pasta, and we're just going to gently stir.
And then he's going to add this cheese.
We're just going to add
The
cheese.
gorgonzola. It's going to be really good.
And that's basically it. And then we're going to add a little bit of basil to finish.
So do you keep it on the heat while you add the cheese?
We're going to turn it off, same as always, and we're done.
What's other people's favorite meals? Yes, Kevin, from student leader, Mr. Orientation, Mr. Lubin. Tell us, Kevin.
One thing that a lot of my friends like when I cook is swordfish angel hair pesto.
Geez, tell us how.
Over at Fulton Market, I have some of my friends kind of help me compare it. But we go up to the community kitchen over in John Street, and a lot of people kind of help in with it, or just really want to smell it and try and get some food. I guess my cooking is a little famous at John Street. But yeah, angel hair, garlic, pesto, and all of that.
Very, very easy. Do we have any final questions as we round up our, I guess, 11th episode of Cooking with the Dean and Provost and John? Great, thank you. Bon appetit.